ANZAC Day falls on the 25th of April each year. The 25th of April was officially named ANZAC Day in 1916.
ANZAC stands for Australian and New Zealand Army Corps.
On the 25th of April 1915, Australian and New Zealand soldiers formed part of the Allied expedition that set out to capture the Gallipoli Peninsula. These became known as ANZACs, and the pride they took in that name continues to this day.
On the morning of the 25th of April 1915, the ANZACs set out to capture the Gallipoli Peninsula in order to open the Dardanelles to the Allied navies. The objective was to capture Constantinople, now Istanbul in Turkey, the capital of the Ottoman Empire and an ally of Germany.
The ANZACs landed on Gallipoli and met fierce resistance from the Ottoman Turkish defenders. Their plan to knock Turkey out of the war quickly became a stalemate, and the campaign dragged on for 8 months.
At the end of 1915, the Allied forces were evacuated. Both sides suffered heavy casualties and endured great hardships. Over 8,000 Australian soldiers were killed. News of the landing on Gallipoli and the events that followed had a profound impact on Australians at home. The 25th of April soon became the day on which Australians remember the sacrifice of those who had died in the war.
The ANZACs were courageous, and although the Gallipoli campaign failed in its military objectives, the Australian and New Zealand actions during the campaign left us all a powerful legacy.
With the coming of the Second World War, ANZAC Day also served to commemorate the lives of Australians who died in that war. The meaning of ANZAC Day today includes the remembrance of all Australians killed in military operations.
In military tradition, the last post is the bugle call that signifies the end of the day's activities. It is also sounded at military funerals to indicate that the soldier has gone to find his final rest, and at commemorative services such as ANZAC Day and Remembrance Day.
The rouse is a short bugle call that was also used to call soldiers to their duties. After the 1-minute silence, the rouse is sounded, during which flags are raised from half-mast to the masthead.
Reveille was originally played as a drum beat just prior to daybreak. Its purpose is to wake up the sleeping soldiers and let the sentries know that they could cease challenging.
During the ANZAC Day dawn service, the last post is sounded followed by a minute of silence. The silence is broken by the Reveille. Today, the Reveille is only performed on the various dawn services or as the first call of the day in the barracks.
Silence for 1 or 2 minutes is included in ANZAC and Remembrance Day ceremonies as a sign of respect and a time for reflection.
The ode comes from For the Fallen, a poem by the English poet and writer Lawrence Binyon, and was published in London in the Winnowing Fan, Poems of the Great War in 1914. The verse, which became the League Ode, was already used in association with commemoration services in Australia in 1921.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
In most ceremonies of remembrance, there is a reading of an appropriate poem designed to help the listener understand the experiences of service people and their relatives in wartime. This is In Flanders Fields.
In Flanders fields, the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel, to you from failing hands we throw. With the foe, the torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
You are about to listen to Ethan Bloomer, current student, playing the last post, followed by 1 minute silence, followed by rouse and reveille. If you are with your family, we would love you to stand, remove your hats, and be silent during these proceedings.
Thank you.